Okay, we have one other report here under my reports, and that's our foundation. This actually is the start. I think you already have some summary information, but what we had hoped to do is at this year, every November, to bring you the annual foundation update report. So this is the first one that Karen Schmidt will be doing for you. And she'll introduce the board members here. Okay, Karen.
Good evening. First, I'd like to be able to introduce our board members, our foundation board members that are here. We have Chris Piazzi, who's our foundation board chair. And we have Joanna Rolick, who is our foundation past chair, and she's our board development committee chair. So we're very grateful that Chris and Joanna were here for this report. Our report is brief by policy. We need to be able to present for the foundation to the Board of Trustees an annual report. And we are in the second year of our strategy to be able to increase our net funds raised to $1 million or more by 2020 and to increase our endowment fund to $2 million or more by 2020. Our revenues as of the end of this fiscal year, I'm very pleased to say that our net funds raised in fiscal year 2015 were $1.2 million, and you can be able to see the trends over the last 5 years. One of the things that we're very pleased about is the change that we're having in terms of our special events net proceeds. This does not include our record-setting event that happened in September, which will go in fiscal year 2016, but we're sitting at net proceeds for fiscal year 15 at $182,000 or $183,000. One of the things that we report to you all is our top donors over $20,000, and you can be able to see who our top donors are. This is a very interesting mix of donors. It includes West Deerfield Township, which is a new donor for $30,000 that Jan Zobus brought to us. They first came in wanting to be able to fund one scholarship at $5,000, and then when we talked to them, they increased it to $30,000 for West Deerfield Township students. In addition, Helen McLean, Peggy McLean, who has been our angel donor, her mother passed away this year, and we got an angel gift of $125,000 this year that I don't expect to see again this year. But I do have some good news for all of us, and that is we got a wire today from Peggy McLean for another $250,000 for fiscal year 2016. So we're very, very grateful to Peggy McLean, who is providing the scholarships for our OMD at CLC program that we're doing. Our endowment balance is being increased only due to legacies, and the legacy gifts we got, the last legacy that we got, Trustee Anderson helped us with that, and that was the Wilmot gift of the coin collection, and that's really our last major legacy gift. We've had some significant additions in terms of folks who are making a commitment, like Trustee Oschlager is making a commitment to making an endowment, and we would need to be on plan at $1.4 million at the end of 2015. So we're doing great on fundraising, and we need to do some work on endowment and to increasing our endowment. As you can tell from this chart, in terms of what's happening in the investment marketplace has been volatile, and in fiscal year 2015 it was down over fiscal year 2014. Scholarships and grants, we're very pleased to be able to share with you that in fiscal year 2015 we provided $909,223,000 to 509 students. This year we are going to be taking to the foundation board on Thursday evening a budget of $1.2 million of scholarships and grants for fiscal year 2016. That includes both unrestricted funds and restricted funds for 2016. One of the things that we've been able to quantify this year is the amount of hours of our very dedicated board members. We have 33 board members. This is the amount of hours that they put in to board meetings, committee meetings, community functions, and fundraisings. And when you quantify the number of hours times an average hourly rate, the amount of contribution that they're making to the college is nearly $500,000. And they really are an excellent board. We've had some great new additions. We're under great leadership. And I personally am inspired and am honored and privileged to be able to work with board members such as Joanna and Chris Piazzi. So, CLC gave us $536,579 in terms of contributed services. That's the amount that you pay for salaries and space. And that's what you gave us last year. We gave you back in funds raised $1.2 million, and we gave you back in scholarships and grants $909,000. For those of you who might be interested in return on investment and or ratio calculations, those are the return on investment and the ratio calculations. It basically says for net funds raised, you gave us $1, we gave you back $2.27. You gave us $1, and we gave you back $1.69 in terms of foundation scholarships and grants.
Karen, would you back up one slide again? Because I want the board to see that. I think that's important. So you're investing in the staff, and I think that even counts the heating and lights or something. I don't know.
It includes Andy's time. It includes our space time. It includes audits.
Okay.
So
that's the
it's direct and
536.
indirect costs.
And you're getting funds raised of $1.2 million and scholarship dollars, $900,000 from that investment. So another thing Karen hasn't mentioned is she's moved the foundation. I don't know if she's going to say it later, but she's moved it onto what I would call the proper cycle. But we actually used to raise the money in the same year we gave it, which is not so good for a number of reasons. And now they're raising the money, and tomorrow they'll be authorizing it for this year.
Right.
So they're in the proper, I would say, fundraising cycle now.
And actually, thank you very much for saying that that's something that Karen did. Actually, that came as a part of our finance committee, who looked at what happened in a year when we had an economic downturn, when you're raising, having to handle a drop in the stock market, and you're dispersing in the same year. They made the decision to be able to say we need to raise this year and we award in next year. And you can see the dip in fiscal year 2014, and that's where we caught up and said we now need to be able to raise in one year and to be able to disperse in the next year.
Good.
And on behalf of all of the students who are recipients of the scholarships, it means so much to them. And we just want to be able to say thank you, thank you, thank you for your continued support of the CLC Foundation.
Okay.
Any questions? Questions?
I have a question. Can you go back just one, a couple, yeah, you know that number, yeah. Net funds raised, net of what?
It's net of contributed services. So on an audited financials, the $536,579 comes in as income on the audited financials, and it goes out as expense. It is also net of special events expenses.
Okay, that 1219 number, it has the funds raised by CLC Foundation, and that says net funds raised. So are you saying that if I was to add 1.2 million plus the 536, 1.8-ish, or 1.7, yeah, close
It's
to 1.8.
1.7.
So you really raised, are you saying you raised 1.7-ish?
No, I'm saying we raised 1.2.
Okay.
Because if you look at the audited financials, generally accepted accounting principles require that we include the 536 as a revenue line in our audited financials. So when you look at our audited financials, it'll show that our total revenue is 1.7-ish. But if you want to be able to say, what is it that we really are doing? Okay, we really are providing 1.2 million. Not 1.7 million.
Right. I mean, it's not very clear to me, this net number. That net.
Well, maybe the figures on the next, that's why I think she tries to.
So on this page here, if I was to divide the 536, the expenditures versus the money that's raised, that's like 59. I calculated to be 59, so for every, go back to the other, yeah, for every dollar raised, we are paying out 59 cents. Is that not correct?
I don't know.
So if this $1.2 million is the scholarship money that you have coming in, and you have 536 going out for salaries and administrative and those kinds of things, really, real cost. For every dollar that you're getting in, I'm calculating 59 cents goes toward those expenditures. Is that not correct?
I don't think that figure's
see
right, but I see where you're going.
Yeah, maybe there.
But another way to say it is the next slide where you say it as a ratio, if that's what you're getting at. So in other words, for every dollar you give the foundation, they give you back $2.27, or if you take the dollar out, it's $1.27.
The return on investment, the return on your investment of 536, so you're investing 536, and our return on investment for net funds raised is 127%, and our return on investment for funds provided to CLC is 69%.
I think that's the ratio you're getting
Yeah,
at, the 69%.
I see your ratios, but I don't know all the numbers going into there. So I'm going to go back to the other slide, if you don't mind. I can see these numbers, and I can calculate these numbers. And if you will help me clarify, just so I can put a rest to this, because it's in my brain now, stuck. And I want it to get out.
You want to be able to sleep tonight.
I got to sleep tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
please, if you could just give me some clarification, help me to understand.
Andy's
The
got
one,
Andy's got
And
a
it's-
the 1219, my understanding, these are the dollars coming into the foundation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
The 536, that's a number where we are paying for salaries, we're paying for space, and other administrative costs.
Right.
So for every dollar that's coming in, the cost is 59 cents. Is that not correct?
Maybe
No, it's-
69.
It's actually, well, I'm looking at it 44 cents.
So you divide, what are you dividing?
Well, the numerator is 536, 579. The denominator is 1,219,652. That's how I was doing it.
Okay. All right, I can see the math.
You see that?
Okay. So what was it?
44 cents.
44 cents.
44.
All right. Now, that 44 cents, is that industry acceptable number for administrative cost for these types of activities? 44 cents.
I'd be happy to go back and get you the Guide Star
Yes.
industry expenses. Just remember that that's total 536. The industry standard that gets you a 4-star charity rating
Yes.
on Charity Navigator for just fundraising costs alone, because remember, included in that 536 are program costs,
Okay.
fundraising costs, and management in general.
Okay.
So typically, I would say that based on, with Andy's calculation of 44%, the industry standard is 4-star charities are 20% and below for fundraising costs.
Okay.
So that's 4 stars. Management and general expenses are 20% and below for a 4-star Charity Navigator rating, and 40% for program. 40% for program costs for a Charity Navigator rating.
So are you suggesting that we add the 3 up, 20, 20, and 40? That's 80.
I know.
So if you want to get a 4-star, 8 cents on every 10, well, 80
For
cents
most
on every.
charities, if you're getting 20 cents on the dollar to need, you're a 4-star charity.
Really?
Actually, we looked at our peers,
And you can, yeah,
and we're doing one
we're
of the
doing
best.
very well.
yeah,
And I
we're
can
doing
go
one of the
back,
best of our
let me
peers.
go back and be able to get you that information
In terms
once
of the-
again, to be able to make that comparison. But in terms of where we would be considered in the 4-star Charity Navigator rating based on these numbers with the 536 fully allocated.
And we can show you what the
Okay.
peers are doing. It's interesting, but we're doing better than some of the peers.